I have absolutely loved having a fully pink leaf on my Philodendron Pink Princess, but after 4 months it is time to snip her off. As you can see here, she is starting to lose her luster, which is very common with variegated plants. The pink on this plant and also the white on a Philodendron White Princess and a Thai constellation don't have any chlorophyll in them. This lack of chlorophyll means it's harder for the leaf to absorb sunlight and also water. This means they're not photosynthesizing as well and will turn brown faster. Whilst some people snip off fully variegated leaves right away, I was obsessed with this fully pink one, wanted to enjoy her and also see how long it lasted. This pink leaf stayed pretty for 4 months, which was also over winter. To me, that is a pretty good run. You can see that I have 2 new leaves shooting out, so clearly leaving this pink leaf on for longer didn't cause any issues for the rest of the plant. As well as removing the fully pink leaf, I also took off the leaf sheaths. These will slowly rot anyway, so I like to remove them to help deter pests. You can see here what the pink leaf looked like as she was unfurling, and honestly, I'm still so obsessed with it. Whilst I'm here reminiscing over the fully pink leaf, let's go through some care for the Philodendron Pink Princess. As with a lot of variegated plants, they do like a brighter spot in your home. Mine is in a room which gets plenty of sunlight. While for most of the day it's in direct sunlight, she does get a bit of the morning sun as well. Whilst they thrive in a brighter spot, you don't want too much direct sunlight, especially in the afternoon, as this can scorch the leaves. The Pink Princess can be susceptible to spider mites and also scale. To prevent this, I like to spritz mine down monthly with neem oil. Make sure you are diluting your neem oil, or you can also buy some which are pre-diluted. Spritz it on your plant and then wipe it off either with a cloth or a glove. After using neem oil, make sure not to leave your plant in the sunlight. The oil does increase the chance of it getting scorched or sunburnt. As well as wiping down the leaves with neem oil, I also like to go in with a mister. Being a tropical plant, they do thrive in a more humid environment. Where I live in Australia is not known for its humidity, so I need to create a little extra. I do this by misting the leaves and also by popping it in the shower and in the rain. I know there's a lot of anti-misters out there, but I really love it, both because I find it relaxing to do and I think it also benefits my houseplants. I have found it prevents from crispy browned ends to my leaves and also stops them from unfurling with tears. You can opt for a humidifier as well, which I do have, but honestly, I just really love to mist my plants. As well as misting, you can also shower your plants as well, depending on the quality of your tap water. I use slightly warm water to not shock the plant. I keep the plant in the decorative pot whilst I do this, so I'm not making a mess of the shower. I will then let it fully drip dry outside of the decorative pot, so we don't have waterlogged soil and attract fungus gnats. Speaking of wet soil, the philodendron does like to have a pretty consistently moist environment. As with any plant, overwatering can lead to root rot. I water mine about every 7 to 10 days depending on the season. I also add a liquid NPK fertilizer once a month in summer and spring, and I will do it once seasonally in winter and autumn. In the cooler seasons, I will also add a grow light to my setup. Most variegated plants have higher sunlight needs, and during winter she sometimes isn't getting enough light. If you're losing the variegation in your leaves or they're going brown really quickly, it can be a sign of lack of sunlight. Propagating this plant is fairly easy. You just need to make sure you snip somewhere with a node. You'll see the nodes sticking out on the stem, so you want to cut below there, and the nodes should turn into roots with water propagation. I have had this Philodendron Pink Princess for over a year now, and whilst this was the first fully pink leaf I've had, I have had other ones with higher variegation, which I've also had to snip off over time. Whilst it is a little bit sad to cut off pretty pink leaves, pruning your plants is always a good idea. It helps to promote new growth and also helps to shape your plant. For the leaves with higher variegation, I will often remove the whole leaf. If you've only got a smaller section of variegation which goes brown, but the rest of the leaf is green, I will sometimes just snip this section off. I have done this a few times now, and the rest of the leaf has been absolutely fine after doing this. You can see I'm removing a smaller section here, but I've also got a leaf which I've cut in half, which is absolutely fine. Now, whenever I show off this Philodendron Pink Princess, the #1 comment is, how do I get these leaves so big? As well as ensuring that you've got proper sunlight, I highly recommend staking your plant. These plants are climbers, and if you give them the proper support, they can spend more energy growing bigger leaves instead of trying to keep themselves upright. I go for the trellis because I prefer the look and low maintenance approach, but you can also add in a moss pole if you prefer that. Don't be scared to put your plants out in the rain as well. This will help clean your leaves and give them some added nutrients. It also makes the best sound. Happy planting!